4-tier. They were dead at the spot. The train hit them.
But there was really nothing I could do.
The girls were on their way to school. Every day they crossed the tracks at this intersection. Today they waited for one train to pass and then walked into the path of another engine coming the opposite way. They probably never saw, never knew it was coming. And that worries some people who live near the tracks.
But they think, well, there's a train down there stopped, we can go anyways, and that's what happens.
They just kind of cross. I see sometimes people look.
Park Lawn Elementary School is just a few blocks away. Some neighbors think the city should do something, maybe post a crossing guard at the tracks. But that's for the future. Hours later, crew members still sat on the train. The railroad says they were sickened by what happened, as was the school and the entire town. Stacy Hoffman, TV6 News, Oconomowoc.
The Soo Line Railroad Company says all the signals at the crossing were working at the time of the accident, and the train was sounding its warning horn.
The bad news spread quickly through the small community of Oconomowoc. There's a corner store not far away from the scene of the accident. The store's owner says people have been calling him all day to see if he knew more about what happened.
It's a large shock to the community. Plus, whenever it's little children involved, nobody knows where to turn. Everybody wants to blame something, somebody. It was an accident.
Indeed, Dietrich says lots of children cross the tracks every day, and it could have happened to anyone. We'll have more reaction from Oconomowoc on our news tonight at 6.
A nasty lesson in chemistry forces New Berlin students to evacuate their school. Eisenhower School was cleared and students sent home when sewer gas seeped into the building's ventilation system. Several students complained of dizziness, nausea, and headaches, and 19 of them were taken to the hospital for observation.
It's like a sewer gas type of smell, yes, and all of a sudden you started feeling a little nauseated yourself, everybody in the room was getting sick.
Investigators followed their noses to a drain in the school's ventilation room. The problem was quickly fixed, and classes for the middle and high school students will resume on Monday. Somebody took a shot at a Milwaukee public school bus this afternoon. Fortunately, nobody was seriously hurt. It happened at the corner of 49th and Fairmont on the city's northwest side about 4 o'clock this afternoon. 11 children were on the bus. None was sitting next to the window, shattered by the pellet gun blast. But flying glass slightly injured one girl. Police are investigating at this moment.
5 o'clock was the deadline for lawmakers in Madison. That's when the state legislature said it would adjourn. So far, it hasn't. Lawmakers have been tied up all day trying to get as much accomplished as they can before they close up shop. Early this morning, the Senate passed an abortion bill requiring teenagers to seek permission before they have an abortion. It would require girls under age 18 to get a permission from her parents or a close relative before having an abortion. A member of the clergy could petition a court on behalf of the girl, or the girl could seek the court's permission herself. The Assembly must pass the Senate version of the bill before it adjourns, or the proposal will die. But Wisconsin Governor Tommy Thompson says he supports the parental consent bill.
Well, the parental consent bill has a lot of ways in which a young girl could still receive an abortion, such as going to somebody that's in the religious clergy member, could petition on behalf of it, an adult member of the family. So I think it balances the rights of the girl with the rights of the family.
The governor made those comments this morning in Milwaukee as he named Stanley Miller as a judge in the Milwaukee County Circuit Court.
Presidential politics invades our state. Jerry Brown made 2 speeches today at UWM, and while he said he wouldn't attack Bill Clinton, he took aim at the political status quo. Brown told an overflow crowd in the ballroom that American farmers and small business owners are floundering, while the United States bails other countries out of debt. The tone of Brown's campaign today: let's take care of our own.
And what's holding us back is a stuck, corrupted, failed, flawed system that needs someone to give it a nudge. I know a lot of people in Congress would like to do better, but they need some moral energy. They need something coming from the outside. And that's what this campaign is all about.
Later, Brown grabbed a bullhorn and spoke to a crowd in the Commons area of the campus. Brown is off to Minnesota tonight, but he plans one more trip back to Wisconsin before the primary. And there's word that Republican Buchanan plans to make a Wisconsin visit. He's scheduled to be in Milwaukee on Monday. Democratic frontrunner Bill Clinton stopped at the state capitol today. Jeff Jackson was in Madison. He saw Clinton's speech, and he tells us about the reaction.
Julie, Bill Clinton told a joint session of the Senate and the Assembly today that he sympathizes with lawmakers who are trying to finish up their session. He said he's been working some long days and tough weeks as well, but he pointed out the legislature only has 1 day to go and he has 10 weeks. He then turned to a stump speech sharply criticizing what he said were 12 years of failed economic policies by Republican presidents, policies he said that had rewarded the rich and punished the middle class and the poor.
The average factory worker in Germany makes 20% more than the average American, works a shorter work week, has national health insurance, gets a 4-week paid vacation a year, and has family leave when there's a baby born or a sick parent. The issue is not Republican or Democrat, it's whether we're going to continue with a failed policy that has not worked and that has brought us to the brink of economic destruction.
Even in Wisconsin, where Clinton said things usually work better, people have not escaped the problems plaguing America. Clinton said it's time Americans joined together to find solutions that work, not just sound good.
This is an election in which we must all decide whether to close the book on the 80s and open a new book in the 90s, whether to do what works, or whether to keep on doing what plainly, manifestly, painfully has not worked.
Clinton said he couldn't help but take one shot at his opponent, Jerry Brown, specifically his proposal for a flat-rate income tax. He said that that simply would be a big tax break for the rich and would once again hurt middle class and poor people in this country. Julie?
What an interesting experience for state lawmakers to see a presidential hopeful before them. Was there any reaction from state lawmakers today about Clinton's speech?
Well, the Democrats gave him a standing ovation. They praised him for speaking to average Americans, and a couple of them said that they think he's the only Democrat who can beat President Bush. Republicans gave him high marks for a good speech, but not necessarily agreeing with him, and they predict that President Bush will run circles around him if, in fact, he's the Democratic nominee.
Time will tell, right?
Right.
Thank you very much.
The reaction along party lines again.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, medical ethics and the future of a 7-day-old baby.
A horrible birth defect means the child has just days to live, but will the infant's parents get the chance to help other babies in need? We'll find out.
No payments till 9.
Save on National Seal of Automotive Integrity used cars at North Shore Dodge on North 76th Street. See North Shore Dodge today.
The TV6 5 o'clock checkup is brought to you by Sinai Samaritan Medical Center.
It's a very difficult question tonight of medical ethics. A Florida court steps in the way of a couple's decision about their newborn baby.
The couple's baby girl will die soon, and they fear they've lost a chance to give her life some lasting meaning. Medical reporter Joanne Williams is here with more on the case in today's 5 o'clock checkup.
Well, the baby's name is Teresa Pearson. Her doctors in Florida say she will die within a few days or at most a couple of weeks. Teresa suffers from a very rare birth defect. She was born without a brain or a skull. Teresa can't feel anything, hear anything, or see anything. But for now, she is breathing and her heart is beating. So her parents made a very tough decision. They asked the court to declare their daughter dead so her organs can be donated to other infants who need transplants.
It would have just been such a waste to have her die for no reason when other children could benefit from it. You know, I personally believe that my daughter's in heaven already and only her body remains here on earth. But I don't think it would be right to allow her to die for no reason at all.
If doctors wait until Teresa dies in days or weeks at the most, her organs will deteriorate and will become useless. But the hospital has refused the parents' request and a court agreed. Florida law says Teresa's vital organs cannot be taken for any reason while she's alive.
Can't justify the termination of an individual's life or the shortening of an individual's life, even by minutes, simply because there are others whose need is great.
The parents are appealing the court's decision. Doctors say the baby's organs could save the lives of 5 infants. But this afternoon, a 3-judge panel denied the parents' appeal. Joining us now is Dr. Robert Nelson, a pediatric specialist with the Medical College of Wisconsin. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
This is a difficult question of ethics. You've seen this kind of question come up before, right? It's not that unusual.
No, the incidence of this defect is about, 1 per, say, 5 or 10,000, and it's a common problem. Many families ask the same question.
It seems logical. It seems like the right thing to do to donate these organs, but the complication is the child technically is not dead. What about the question of brain death?
Well, that's correct. The only circumstance currently that we can have an individual be an organ donor is if they're brain dead. By definition, to be brain dead, you need to not be able to breathe. These infants have a brain stem and are able to breathe.
So it's not a matter of being brain dead. They just don't technically have a brain. Couldn't a law be changed so that that eventuality could be covered too?
It could. There have been suggestions in different states. California, for example, several years ago had a suggestion before them of a criteria called brain absent. The difficulty with that approach is asking where do you draw the line. If we feel that the lack of a cortex is what is essential, there are other conditions such as hydroanencephaly, which is water in the brain where the skull is normal, and the circumstance of someone in persistent vegetative state where we could then begin to ask the same question. Those who oppose the law feel that that would be an unfortunate turn of events.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Robert Nelson, who's a pediatric specialist at the Medical College of Wisconsin. It's a very difficult decision and one that probably will never really be answered because the definition of death changes all the time.
And I had no idea it affected that many people. I'm sure that I'm not the only person in that vote, too, that didn't know about this. Very interesting. Thank you, Julia.
You're welcome.
The government says we're making more money and spending more, too. Personal income jumped 1.1% last month, and the Commerce Department says consumer spending jumped, too. The experts say those are both signs that the economy is slowly recovering. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones took a tumble, dropping 36 points to close at 3231. Volume, 166 million shares.
Tonight, we'd like to find some experienced parents who are willing to open their hearts and their home because an 8-year-old girl needs you tonight. In cooperation with the Special Needs Adoption Network of Wisconsin, we'd like to find Becky a permanent home. Becky enjoys roller skating and board games. She's in 2nd grade, special education. Becky struggles with everyday kinds of things. It takes her a long time to complete a task. But she would thrive with parents who understand her and can give her the attention that she needs. If you'd like to learn more about Becky, then give the Special Needs Adoption Network a call at one of these two numbers, 475-1246 or 1-800-762-8063.
Not telling you anything new, a very nice day today. And up next, the weekend forecast. Meteorologist Bart Adrian will be here with details.
And also ahead, pictures of a dramatic rescue in California. A man was trapped 80 feet underground.
I'm Joanne Williams. This week on Health Matters, fixing a faulty heart. Tiny tools and computer technology are turning problem hearts into healthy hearts. Find out how. Also, from this week's Health Newswire, we'll show you why your job and the way you work may be making you sore. And we'll take a look at how to pick a pair of sunglasses that really protect your eyes. All that's coming up this week on Health Matters. Be with us.
Watch Health Matters, Sunday at 5:30 on TV6.
Did you know that right now you can walk into Conn's and get $100 off a suit? $100 off a suit? Yeah, $100 off every suit in the store. Just take the price of the suit, take $100 off.
That means I could get a suit for as little as $99.
Yeah, you could save more than you spend.
They are nuts.
Look at this. You can get $50 off 2,500 blazers and sport coats.
No way. Who'd be dumb enough to give $100 off suits and $50 off blazers and sport coats?
Conn's would.
Yeah, Conn's would.
Conn's $100.
Tonight on A Current Affair, Vito Faccio was a tough Italian who packed a gun and bragged of mob ties.
It's like watching a live volcano with a lid on it.
But Vito Faccio was really Larry O'Brien.
It turns out he was Irish and had no Italian ancestry whatsoever.
And when he threatened to have his wife rubbed out, she put an end to the luck of the Irish. Arrivederci, Larry.
A Current Affair, tonight at 6:30 here on TV6.
Little snow last night made things slippery, but almost all gone today. The sun was shining
That's the
brightly.
way it goes with spring snows, you know, here
Come
today,
and go.
gone tomorrow. Yeah, they disappear very quickly. And this is going to be kind of a split picture kind of weekend around here, Mike. Yeah, we're going to start out, the best part of the weekend is going to be the early part. And we're starting out, we had a lot of sunshine
Nice
today.
yeah.
Satellite picture bears that out. You can see that down here. And notice, though, this patch of clouds, though, in the lower left portion of the screen. And watch the clouds that are moving in from the west. They're already into central sections of Iowa. This entire batch of moisture starting to already containing some showers and continuing to make progress toward the east. That will stay out there. It looks like a good portion of tomorrow around southeastern Wisconsin. We should still be seeing a fair amount of sunshine, especially during the morning hours. But that moisture will be drawing closer and into the western portions of the state by the afternoon hours tomorrow. And what's going to happen is rain and a mixture of a little bit of sleet and snow as well in western Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures should be in the 40s across the southern part of the state, in the 30s, upper 30s in the far north. Our winds will come around to the southeast during the afternoon, and of course that will keep it a little bit cooler near the lakeshore. Now looking ahead to Sunday, sorry to say, it's a day you probably want to pack along the umbrella. We'll have occasional light rain, some snow and sleet mixed in the central part of Wisconsin, and all snow in the far northern part of the state, although it doesn't look like anything heavy at this point. Temperatures on Sunday should for the most part be in the 30s north and in the 40s here in southern Wisconsin. Right now, officially, Mitchell International coming in at 35 degrees. The 39-degree reading at Timmerman, 36 at our studio, and 38 at Waukesha. 38 and 26, the official high-low at Mitchell today. Dew-point temperatures at 26, relative humidity 69% with northeast winds and a rising barometer. And here's our forecast for tonight. Fair and cold, low temperatures ranging from the mid-20s in the city to the upper teens in outlying areas. Winds out of the northeast will become light and variable. Tomorrow, a lot of sunshine in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon. Highs upper 30s lakeside to the mid-40s inland. Winds by afternoon becoming east to southeast. On the extended forecast, light rain on and off throughout the day on Sunday with highs only in the low 40s. But Monday and Tuesday are looking pretty good with high temperatures on Monday around 50, low 50s on Tuesday. And it looks like we are going to be continuing to see a warming trend to the middle part of next week. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll take a look at a late period in March just a few years ago when we were walking around in shirt sleeves. See you then.
Okay, Bart, thanks. Well, they're calling a California paramedic a hero tonight.
Risking his own life, he pulled another man out of an 80-foot well. Construction worker Edgar Lopez fell all the way to the bottom of the freshly dug hole. The shaft was not reinforced. It could have collapsed at any time, but the paramedic volunteered to go down the 4-foot diameter hole anyway. He hooked the injured worker to a harness and rescued him. Lopez was not seriously hurt.
That is one courageous guy.
Absolutely.
Amazing story. Well, the Brewers make a big change today.
And a change that may make everybody happy in the end, I
think in the long run, yeah, you're dealing some talent away, no question about that. Gary Sheffield finally traded today. We'll have the details coming up and let you in on the young players that Milwaukee has coming back. Plus, we'll show you some ballet for brutes, and you don't want to miss that at all, so stick around.
Mornings are so beautiful in Tennessee. People want to get started in a hurry. That's why there are different kinds of Tennessee Pride breakfast.
Publishers of Better Homes and Gardens. Only at your Anderson Window Center store.
News Supply Line, Stan's Lumber, and Cedarburg Lumber.
Who has the features you really want most in a luxury car? Lexus, Infiniti, Cadillac, or Lincoln Town Car? Town Car has a roomier interior, the quietest, smoothest ride you can buy, and a combination of safety features unavailable with Lexus, Infiniti, or the newest Cadillacs. Dual airbags along with anti-lock brakes. Plus, Lincoln Town Car's sticker price thousands less. So when would you like it delivered?
Good afternoon, everybody. You can close the book on the Sheffield era in Milwaukee. After talking about it for a couple of weeks, the Brewers finally made a big trade with the Padres today. And coming, here's the actual trade, okay? Gary Sheffield, the third baseman, and minor league pitcher Jeff Kellogg to the San Diego Padres for pitcher Ricky Bonas, infielder Jose Valentin, and outfielder Matt Mieske. Bonas pitched in the majors last year. He and Valentin have been put on the 40-man roster for the Brewers. Mieske has been assigned to Denver. He was the most valuable player in each of the 2 minor leagues that he has played in. The key to the trade, though, is obviously Sheffield. He has a world of talent, but also has a world of trouble in Milwaukee. In 4 seasons, he batted .259, but he made more news off the field with complaints of harassment. He didn't like his teammates, his playing time, or his contract. As recently as this spring, in an interview with our Mark Concannon, he didn't sound like he'd be a lifetime Brewer.
This is my 4th year now, and, 2 more years, I'll be a free agent. And, hopefully, things will work out my way now. I have a lot of decisions to make, but they won't be hard decisions, but I will make them.
Gary Sheffield is gone, so who'll take his place? I mean, long range, it's probably a good deal, but who'll play third this season? The candidates include Tim McIntosh, non-roster player Jeff Kunkel. Maybe you move Jim Gantner over there. He played there in the exhibition game today. Long term, it might be B.J. Suroff if Dave Nielsen comes up from the minors. But whoever it is, we'll probably hear less about them off the field than we did with Sheffield. All right, off-the-court news in basketball now. DePaul coach Joey Meyer has denied a Chicago Sun-Times report that Blue Demon players receive money, improper summer jobs, and free rent from a banker. The NCAA won't comment on whether it's looking into that situation. Besides, the NCAA has on-court things to worry about. 4 games tonight will continue to whittle the field on the road to the Final Four. Coverage here on TV6 starts at 7 o'clock. The Bucks do the NBA thing in Seattle tonight. Some say that's a dreary city, which would be fitting since the Bucks have been playing pretty dreary lately. They'll try to avoid their 19th straight road loss on a court one player knows well.
This will be my first trip to Seattle since the trade in February of last season, and I'm excited about going back. Yeah, family, friends, a lot of people will be there to see me, so I'm happy.
Over at Wisconsin, believe it or not, spring football practice begins tomorrow. They probably won't be doing what these guys are doing, though. These are the Brigham Young players, and watch this. They are learning ballet footwork from aerobic instructor Robin Smith. She is trying to get them more flexible. I hope that the guys will be a little more flexible. I bet they'll be more susceptible to verbal abuse, too, when the opponents find out that this is what they're doing. Now, here's a note for you. 40-year-old Joe DeLama-Lure, who used to block for O.J. Simpson back with Buffalo, seems like years ago, we signed with Charlotte of the Arena Football League. He's going to play offensive line. He's 40 years old, and, John Anderson wasn't around this afternoon. I don't know if he's working out for another deal or what's going on.
All right, Tim, thanks. Up next, Mr. Food's recipe for cheesy fish. It's Friday.
I don't know.
This might embarrass my family, but I feel I have to tell you about this disease I had called depression.
As I said, it's Friday. You might be thinking about fish, and Mr. Food has a new way to liven it up.
We're always looking for a new way to jazz up fish, an easy way. We get tired of the same old thing, and it starts to taste flat. Then we start with the, what can I do a little different? Okay, here's the little trick. Cheese crackers, any brand, any type. We crush up a cup's worth of them. We add 1/4 cup of sesame seeds, a tablespoon of chopped parsley, a ½ teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon each of black pepper and red pepper. We dip 6 fish fillets into a ½ cup of melted butter or margarine, then into the cracker mixture, lay them in a baking dish, and in a 400-degree oven, 15-20 minutes at most, they'll be golden. Now we sprinkle on a little Parmesan as we serve it, and it's a double cheese crispy. And what makes it easier are the choices. Now, these were farm-raised catfish fillets. They're white and bright and mild, wonderful. But any type of a mild fish fillet will work. Any type of cheese crackers on sale will be fine. Or maybe save those crumbs that are always on the bottom of the box. That's what makes the flavor and the crispy so easy and exciting. And if you'd like the recipe, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope marked cheesy baked fish to me, Mr. Food, right here at the station, and we'll get it back to you for having them anxious to get to the table. There's no more groaning about fish, no more shucks or gee whiz. I mean, we've got that little different, ooh, it's so good.
I think we better tell Mr. Food that this is the dairy state. We only use real cheese for those recipes.
That's right. Well, I liked it, though. It sounded pretty good.
Sheffield, gonna have more at 6?
Big trade. He's the kind of guy, I don't know if he's ever going to be happy anywhere, so he's going to